What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Stacy Dash. Stacy Dash has been making some headlines recently for a few things. One was this weird dancing video that went viral. And I actually spoke about it and I said, I really believe that she's trying to do what she sees everybody doing. Her post-acting career, I believe, is trying to be a TikTok influencer or a IG influencer. That's what it looks like. She also did a remake of the All Falls Down video, I believe. So she's trying to go viral any way that she can. So in this video, I just want to go over Stacy Dash as where she is now in general, as a woman who's in her late 50s, even though, again, for a woman in her late 50s, she doesn't look bad at all. We've seen some of these heifers in their late 50s and they really look like they're in their late 50s. She's been able to keep herself up to this point, despite the sobriety issues that she's had over the years and despite the, seemingly mental instability moments. I think that she's at a point to where she wants to make a career out of what she sees everybody else doing now, because she really doesn't have a spot in Hollywood at all. It's almost like she's burnt so many bridges in Hollywood, and not to mention her being a short-term conservative. Like, she was Candace Owens before Candace Owens. The only difference is that Candace Owens does research for the most part on certain things, now maybe not everything, on certain things, and Stacy Dash did zero of that. She just showed up on Fox News as some sort of conservative talking head, when really she was there to get attention from conservative men. Let's be real. Because right after she started doing that, she got into a relationship with this Caucasian guy, right? That didn't end well. She had this obsession with Paul Ryan. Listen, when it comes to Stacy Dash, I think that she's a woman who people may think is misunderstood. I don't think she's misunderstood at all. I think she's a woman who clearly is still dealing with something. Like, you could just tell, so you could look at her and tell there's something deeper there. Let's look at the fact that she has been manless since that domestic violence situation that she got arrested for. We can't sit up there and ignore that. And let's talk about the Charlie Kirk thing. I know Charlie Kirk lost his life recently. It's been viral. Everybody's had their opinions on it. She was chastising people for celebrating his death, and there were people who gave her pushback for that. And it's probably because people viewed her as a black, they still view her as a black conservative, even though she renounced her conservative badge. Like, she no longer wants to be seen as that. That was just something that she did short term because she has a problem with black people. And there's other people like that. They have problems with their blackness. I think Stacy Dash has a problem with her blackness that she'll never admit to. And I think that when she made the video chastising people, I think that people just said, oh, she's just a black female conservative who hates black people, worships white people. The worship part may be true, but I just think that she feels like they're making fun of somebody who lost their life. I never particularly liked Charlie Kirk. I never followed what he did. The only thing I knew of him was the Turning Point USA and the Blexit or Blacksit, whatever you call it, that him and Candace Owens worked together. I never paid much attention to him. What he said never mattered to me. It never did. I'm not one to celebrate someone's passing ever. I'm not one of those people. I don't know these people. These people are internet people. They're not, I don't know them in real life. I don't take what these people say seriously. Even people that disagree, I don't take none of these people, what these people say seriously. But she thought that she needed to chastise people over it, and I think she got cooked over it. Now, let's look at where she is now as a woman, adult children, alone. She's at a point where I see a lot of these like Hollywood washouts at, these ex-video vixens. They sort of take lanes. Her lane is to act crazy on social media. Maybe the rant about Charlie Kirk was her way of trying to go viral, because the post did do over 56,000 likes. So maybe she was trying to go viral for that. Maybe she doesn't even care about Charlie Kirk. Probably didn't even know him. Maybe she still has some of that conservatism in her. Who knows? But what I know is she seems like a woman who wants to feel young, because there was a point years ago where Stacy Dash was trying to be more mature, more conservative, right? Trying to fit some sort of stereotype. But then I think that once the grifting was over, because she was one of the early grifters of Donald Trump, Fox News, the Paul Ryan era, right? She was one of those early grifters. She basically was burning bridges in Hollywood very fast, and she had nothing going on. So what do you do when you have nothing going on? What do? You go to try to latch on to something politically. Now, you got to understand, at the time, there wasn't any platform to go to. Like now, when people are washed up or they get fired from like a legacy media job, they come to YouTube. It wasn't that wasn't there for her when she was bounced from the Single Lady show that she did with Lisa Ray. Y'all remember Lisa Ray? Her and Lisa Ray did the Single Lady show, and she ended up being bounced from that show early, right? You know, so once she was bounced from that show, that's when the grifting of conservatives and trying to get the attention of white men, and that's why she still gets mocked to this day. No quarter will be given to divestment. Okay, no quarter will be given to divestment at all. We're going to cook them as much as we possibly can, because we can see it in them that they have a disdain, a hate for black men. One of the other weird episodes with Stacy Dash was after DMX had already passed away. This was well after he passed away, right? Stacy Dash made a post crying over his passing, but he had long passed. Just was very weird and very look at me. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like she don't know what's going on in the outside world. People might have been questioning her sobriety. That's what people are at now. When they see her awkwardly dancing in these videos, you could tell, she's trying to show youthfulness at her age. And I'm telling you, she doesn't look her age. That's one thing I will say about her. Black definitely doesn't crack on certain people. It does on others. But she is, definitely trying to be sexy. You go to her IG, she's turning up the sexy. This wasn't her 10 years ago. 10 years ago, she was Miss Conservative, not trying to show much, trying to show conservative white people she just liked them. But now, when she realized that she can get all types of attention and viewership, and, she ain't got nothing else going on, you know what she does? She turns to the internet. I don't know if she's ever going to be in a relationship again. I don't think she's going to be married again. And if there's a man trying to put a ring on it, just look at what happened with the last guy she was with, seriously. You know what I'm saying? It's clear that she still has some issues. Maybe she's working through them. But this is the destiny of a lot of these women who burn bridges, have hate in their heart on certain things. They're going to get to a point to where they want people to like them. I think Stacy Dash wants people to like her now. I think she kind of played a villain role a bit, and I think that she's tired of that. Y'all remember she was on, I can't remember what award show it was. Y'all remember she was on stage just being goofy? This was at the tail end of her grifting era, her conservative grifting era. She was on stage for one of these award shows. It could have been the Oscars. I'm not quite sure what it was. I'm not sure which award show it was. She was just on stage being very weird. She's a very awkward person. You could tell she's a very socially awkward person. Very socially awkward. And I would hope that she continues the sobriety path and continues that and doesn't end up in bad situations. But I want to make this video just to show people that this is where she is. And I was right years ago. I made a video on this channel about her years ago. And I said that this is why, men keep leaving Stacy Dash. Men don't stay with her long. Relationships don't last long. And this was years ago. And I feel like it's because she's socially awkward to the point to where she's awkward with the men that she's with, because I think she puts on a facade. And I think once they figure out that facade, they no longer want to deal with her. And when she realizes it, I think she lashes out. People say, well, she dealt with some things. She went through some things in a relationship. Maybe she did, but you're going to take that out on the men that you deal with after that. So